Welcome to another episode of the OFFSZN Podcast. This is episode 7 now? Dang, it's crazy to see it's episode 7, but today is a very interesting episode. We are at TF North High School with Coach Pigs. We do also have some TF South football players.
TF North.
TF North.
Yeah, man.
I'll cut that out.
It's okay. You can leave it in there. It's fine. That's just extra motivation for our guys.
And that's why I say it's very interesting because, you know what I'm saying, we went to TF South.
Old habits die hard, man. It's okay.
Hey, well, you know, this just happened with when Shannon Sharp, when he went to first take, and he was with Stephen A. Smith, and he come on saying Skip. He called him Skip like 5 times on the show. But yeah,
it happens. But like I said, we're at TF North High School today, sitting down with the head football coach, Coach Pigs, as well. We'll be speaking with a lot of TF North football players as well, and really appreciate you for joining the platform today, man. We got a lot to talk about with you and things that you've done for the program, a lot of great things it sounds like that you were doing for the program that we were speaking about off camera. But the first thing that I want to do is just allow you to introduce yourself, kind of give a 30-second elevator pitch, and then we can move forward into the conversation.
Sounds great. Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me on. What you guys are doing for high school football in the area and the athletes and other sports, you know, watching some of the episodes, it's really impressive, and it's something that as a coach at the high school level I can really appreciate. So thank you guys for doing that, and thanks for coming up the street this night during the week. But I'm Coach Pignatiello, Coach Pigs. In my first year at the helm at TF North, not my first stint coaching football at TF North. Definitely not my first time walking these halls. I'm a 2007 grad and coached here for 6 years. Took some years over at Lincoln Way East. Was very fortunate to have that experience, but I'm back now. And again, very fortunate to be here in this position, working with a great group of young men, an outstanding staff, a great administration, and a huge support staff. So, again, thanks for having us on. Greatly appreciate it. Look forward to talking with you guys.
Yeah, perfect. And you mentioned that you went to TF North when you were in high school and you graduated in 2007. What sports did you play when you were there?
So I was a football, baseball kid all 4 years.
Okay.
So varsity didn't take place for me until I was a junior in both sports. So I bided my time, worked my way up on the lower levels, and then, as I said, just 4 years of football and baseball when I was at North.
Okay, perfect. And then did you play in college at all?
I did not. I had the opportunities to play at Division III NAIA football schools and programs, great programs, great opportunities. But at the time, I kind of knew that football was probably going to end shortly after those years of playing college ball, and I had some other opportunities at some of the bigger schools to pursue my major in high school education, and I chose to go that route, and I ended up going to Illinois State University.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so I want to know, how did you choose like your major, like early on? Like, was it something that you chose at a young age? Like, were you in high school and you knew that you wanted to, be in an education system, or was it something that, happened in college? Like, when did you come up with the plan of what you're going to do outside of sports?
Great question. So, ironically, this might sound a little hypocritical, but even though I was at peace with moving away from playing the sport, I knew that I always wanted to come back and coach. My dad coached me growing up. I had outstanding coaches at the youth level all the way through high school, and I think the impact that great coaches had on me was something that I was always motivated by and inspired by, that I took to heart to the point where I thought that would maybe be a career choice for me down the road, and that's what made me choose to go into education. And I probably made that decision shortly after my junior season of varsity football, knowing that my ceiling was not the NFL. It wasn't major Division I football, and I just thought that at the time, doing well in the classroom, maybe giving myself some opportunity academically to pursue a degree at one of the bigger institutions in the state was something that I was intrigued and motivated by, and so I went that route.
Yeah, I think that's definitely dope because like you just mentioned, you realized what your ceiling was, but ceiling was for you, that you weren't going to make it to the NFL, but you knew with the experience that you had with your coaches, how that had an impact on you, and you wanted to have that same impact on players. And I think that's something that we talk about all the time, and that's something that we were just having a conversation about off camera, is that's the most important, is the children and the kids, and having that lasting impact on them, whether they play at the next level, whether they don't play at the next level. I think a lasting impact that a coach can have on a kid is super important, and it can really change a lot of kids that look like us lives. So I do definitely commend you for, you know, taking the opportunity and realizing that to get into coaching. And from what it seems is that it's going pretty well here. Like when we was at TF South back in 2011 to 2015, that little range. It was definitely a different atmosphere as far as when we played North in sports and things like that. But to see you come in, like us almost 10 years removed at this point, I think you probably are 10 years removed at this point, to see how you helped change the culture as being the head coach, that's a great thing to see. And I think that's things that should be paid attention to and should be talked about a lot more, you know.
Yeah, definitely admire like the change and the vision that you have, because that's something that I feel like not a lot of coaches really have. You know, I think there's a select few coaches who are really dedicated to bringing the best out of the athletes. You know, it's not just a job for me. It's not just something I just show up and do just to get a stipend or just, you know, just a pastime. It's like you truly have to have a passion to change lives and deal with the kids, because it's not all perfect. It's not all fun. Like you deal with a lot of different personalities, you know, so to take the time out of your life, because you have kids, right?
I do.
So it's like you have to take care of your kids, and essentially you're looking after other people's kids also. So you really have to have it in your heart to want to do this job night in and night out, where you're missing time with your own family to make sure, you know, these young men are excelling their life. So it's definitely something that's truly respectable, especially, you know, at the level that you're at right now.
Yeah, so I want to get into the coaching aspect of everything, because as you mentioned earlier, this isn't your first stint at South. Obviously, you were here as a student in high school, but I think you mentioned that you were also previously a coach here as well, whether it was for you the head baseball coach once upon a time. Are you still currently the head baseball coach?
I am not. That was a position I gave up last spring. So last spring was my first year not being the head coach since 2015.
And then let's just go into your last stint here as a football coach. What was your role there? Your first stint here, being a football coach here.
First and foremost, before I go into that, answering that question, I really appreciate the kind words about the program, but I want to make it very, very clear that it's a group effort. And I know I'm sitting in front of you. I'm the single person on camera, but there are a lot of people, and starting with our players, that need to and deserve the credit for what's going on here. And I know you guys know that, but I think it's important for somebody in my position to make sure that those people get the spotlight that they deserve. And that's obviously extended into the assistant coaches who have done an unbelievable job. And then all the way up through the support staff, trainers, managers, student managers, administrators, parents, community members. It's a complete team effort to do what we've done thus far, and I could not be more happy to be a part of that group. So appreciate the kind words about that, and I know that those people deserve that credit. So thanks for that. In regards to my coaching timeline, so I came back in 2012 as I was getting ready to start my student teaching, and Coach Rogers, who's our current defensive coordinator, and he was my defensive coordinator when I played at TF North, was the head coach here. So I reached out to him, and he was very welcoming in getting me back here in the summer camps and learning the systems and jumping into the sophomore level as an assistant. And then for the next few years, I kind of floated from sophomore to freshman, did a little bit of assisting, obviously, on Friday nights for varsity. And then in 2017, under then Coach Rich Watson, I became the offensive coordinator. And then the following spring, there was another head coaching change. And at that time, I had an unbelievable opportunity to join the Lincoln Way East staff with Coach Savonar and Coach Joel Palisard on the offensive side of things over at East, and was there since 2018, fall of 2018, before accepting the position here at TF North. So kind of done a lot of different things in regards to football coaching, calling the sophomore offense, being a sophomore head coach, calling the freshman offense, working my way to a varsity offensive coordinator role, and then being a varsity offensive assistant at Lincoln Way East, which I could talk for hours about that experience, and very fortunate and grateful to those guys over there, and just having a front row seat. And I said this last week on an interview to what I believe is the best high school football program in the state of Illinois. And there's a lot of Lincoln Way East flavor sprinkled into what we're doing here, and I know our kids love it. They respect the heck out of those guys, and I think our players are very fortunate for me to have had that experience. So when you talk about culture, it's a beautiful blend of purple and gold and black and blue. And we're enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah, let's talk about culture, because as you mentioned, you held many different hats and roles prior to even accepting the head coaching job here at TF North. And a lot of those, as you just said, a lot of those experiences prior shaped you into the head coach that you are today. How big of an impact is culture, and how does that trickle down into the kids and things like that, even into it could be around the school or anything like that? How big is that for building a program? And then, as we also said, the community that you have behind you with your assistant coaches and stuff like that, how does that affect everybody around you in that head coaching position?
I think the simple answer is when it's good, it makes everything really good.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's not so good, and that doesn't mean that the ideas are bad, but maybe it's just not recepted the way that you would like it to go. It could be pretty detrimental to a program. So I think there's a lot of different things that get thrown around in terms of the word culture and how it's built and where it comes from. I think for me, from the head coaching position and what I may be saying and doing for our program and for our players, it's coming from the heart. I have a very unique
You have to care first.
Opportunity because it's so natural to me to care for this place. It's the only place I've held a teaching position. Obviously, as a graduate and alum of the school, it means a great deal to me. My mother is an alum of the school. Several of my aunts and uncles are alum of the school. I was running around this place, pretty much since I've been in diapers.
Wow.
And the culture, I think, from the head coaching perspective, my perspective is just coming from a place that is so natural to care and love for TF North and Calumet City. And again, I've been quoted a few times, but that's the realness of what I hope I'm bringing and people are seeing, and is obviously most importantly the players, on a day in and day out basis of how important and meaningful this position is, but then also what the program and the school and the community mean to me as well. So I hope that kind of answers your question regarding culture.
Mm-hmm.
But make no mistake about it, there's another side of that, and that's the hard work, the commitment, the effort, the attitude.
Hard work behind everything.
Everything. It doesn't work if you don't,
mm-hmm.
right? Like it doesn't
That's
work.
true.
Whatever you're doing, it doesn't work if you don't.
That's a quote right there.
And there's a great quote by Hall of Fame coach Ron Tomczak, who was a legendary coach here at TF North, and it's a longer quote, but it just summarizes the importance of work. And one day that quote's going to go up in our weight room too, because I know it sits in a weight room in Frankfort, Illinois, and it's pretty special to see a TF North guy's words up on that wall. So we're going to get that banner put in our weight room as well.
Most definitely.
So talk about some of the hardships that you had to endure as a head coach here when, for the last few years, the program has kind of been struggling. Talk about, the things that kind of held the program back and what you have done to kind of shift from the old TF North to this new TF North with a brand new identity, having winning seasons, probably going to go on and go deep into the playoffs. Talk about that.
Well, to your question, I would say that we're actually trying to bring back the old TF North that I knew, and several of our coaches knew, and some of you guys maybe knew as you were young guys coming up, where winning was the standard, and being in the playoffs year in and year out was what was expected of the football program. And so I think, I had said a little earlier, one of the things that I wanted to make sure I did when I was at Lincoln Way East, because I was still teaching here and I was the head baseball coach, was never to flaunt that experience to our student body, because I was, I'm a member of the teaching staff. I'm coaching several of our football players in other sports. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't do anything to make anybody feel any type of way, and support them from afar in a certain way. So because of that, I didn't really have a lot of input or intel on things that were possibly going on the last few years. I try to let that staff work that stuff out on their own, out of respect for the players in the program. But I think the first hurdle I had to get over was getting our kids to kind of know who I was. You throw COVID in for our seniors who kind of were outside the building and not in there as freshmen. I didn't have a ton of these guys as freshmen, sophomore, juniors in baseball, so I didn't know them well. Those relationships that you have to have with players weren't established, and there's different ways that
relationships are so important.
Huge, and there's different ways that head coaching positions are filled. A lot of times somebody from within will just take over, and those relationships are there, and players know them. They can put a face to a name, and that wasn't necessarily the case for a lot of our players. So first and foremost, I needed to get in front of our kids, our players, and let them know kind of who I was and what I was about, what I hope to bring to the table, and what expectations and standards were going to be set for them. And then outside of that, numbers was a big thing. You know, our varsity roster right now is not huge. I mean, we're just over 30. But, you know, I think that with our freshman class being about 40 of freshmen, and then you throw in a little bit of sophomores on that lower level, that was one of the things that we needed to target, and it kind of just happened. So we're hoping that it happens again next fall. But one of the big things is we're going to target getting into our feeder programs, our junior high schools, and the Calumet City Thunderbolts and Calumet City Chargers, and those organizations to kind of help build those relationships and get those kids excited about, you know, coming to TF North and tell them about the good, exciting things we have going on here. So I think that those were two of the major ones, and obviously one of them is kind of put on the back burner because we wanted to make sure that we took care of business this season for our current players. And then moving forward, continuing to grow our numbers and those sort of things.
So this is a pretty good group of kids here. Would you say that it was hard to get them to buy in? Because I feel like a lot of times kids just really want the structure. They just don't know it. With this group of kids and just the success that you all are having, was it hard for them to kind of accept you and buy into what you were feeding them at first? Or, you know, like talk about that.
Well, these kids were hungry to win. You know, that they didn't need me to fuel that fire by any means. They were hungry to win, and they had a desire inside them to get this thing turned around. And we have an exceptional group of seniors this year who have a great supporting cast in the underclassmen. But I think we got into this thing a little late. I was not officially approved in my hire as head coach until late March, which is, as you guys all know, late into the offseason. I mean, you're talking 4 or 5 months late into the offseason. So there was probably a little bit of apprehension to our offseason morning workouts to some of our players. That was probably a little bit tougher buy-in than what they may have been used to. I'm a morning guy. You guys spoke to my family, and I got to shout them out again because they'll lose their minds, my little ones. But I'm a morning guy because part of me wants to be able to get home when practices are over, to be around the family. And if I can sneak in there or late dinner or whatever the case may be with my wife and kids, that's important. So I'm a morning guy. I do my own little workout. It doesn't show, but I do daily during the week. And I wanted to bring that to our kids because I think that part of it is a quick way to understand like who's really in and who's just talking about it, right? So if you can get up early in the morning and come work out before school, that tells us something. So that was probably a little bit tougher for some of the guys. But I'll tell you what, we got to June camp and our practice plans went out to the staff. And I told you, our staff's outstanding, and I love those guys to death. But there was probably a few of them that were like, we're really going to be out there that long? Like, you're going to really keep these kids on the field, that field work that long and that long of a day? And I said, yeah. I said, we got to work. And the kids have to embrace the work. But I'll tell you what, we got out there in June, and they didn't flinch. They loved it. They loved the tempo of our practices. They loved the structure of our practices. So once we got through that very brief and abrupt off season, we got to summer camp, and it was hit the ground running, and I think they've really enjoyed it, and I've gotten some positive feedback from them. Now, not that every day was perfect, but for the most part, they like the football work of this, and that's a huge thing for a coach who doesn't mind spending time on the field. Our kids buying into that was huge, and they did pretty quickly.
Early morning, that's intense.
But I think that's necessary because off cam we talked a little bit about how this game translates to real life. So it's like when you leave out of high school, even when you get out of college, you're going to have a daily routine where you're going to have to maybe get up early or maybe work through the night, whatever your job may be. But I just like that you're introducing them to the work that it takes to be successful. Like there's a formula for success. And if you look at your record, right? You have to get up early and work out because most people aren't doing it. Most athletes aren't doing it. They're going to get up at 7, just enough time to make it to school. They're going to go to one practice, and they're going to go home, do their homework, and play the game. But if you want to be special, if you want to do something great, it takes a certain level of work ethic and focus that you have to do in order to be successful. So now they could take this outside of school where it's like, I'm an adult, and I know what type of work it's going to take for me to get this promotion at my job or to be a better father or a better husband. Like I have that work ethic instilled in me based off of the work I did when I was in high school, because if you could get up at 5 a.m. and hit the weights and go condition, that's the hardest thing you're going to do. Getting up to go to your job is not difficult. I can get up and just show up and be there and clock in. But to really work hard in the morning, like that's something that, is a testament to your character. So
Yeah, and I think that's important to think that people only really see the success when it's happening, but nobody really sees the behind the scenes work. Because I'm saying, coming on when we first started this episode, I'm saying like glad to see you change the culture here. But I had no idea that, that was something that you thought to do, instilling them as early morning practice, because that's nothing we ever really did at TF South when we was there. And that just takes, that's just the formula, the recipe of success, and that comes from obviously probably your prior experiences at Lincoln Way East, and maybe even something that you probably saw while you were a freshman coach and a sophomore coach your first time here. So I think that's definitely important as well.
I'll kind of just wrap up that part of the convo. I think a couple things with the early morning stuff. Number one, there's different ways to do it for different programs, right? And before I was anywhere else outside of TF North, with baseball, we needed space. And if you know anything about spring athletics and the limited space and the rainouts and the things that you're dealing with, it's hard to come by. So my staff and I, Coach Anaclario, who was my assistant at the time, and Coach Jameson, who was an assistant at the time, we decided that if we can get in here in the mornings, no one else was here. So that means we have the big gym if we need to throw and do some things in the gym for the space. We have the cages. We're not sharing them with anybody. There's no distractions, and we're not staying here till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night trying to wait for those things to open up. So we initially did it with baseball. And then I saw the success with that. I saw the kids being really excited about being able to go home after school.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice. You don't like that 4:30 a.m. Alarm clock going off, but you love getting home and relaxing by 3:45.
Yeah.
And then obviously my time spent at East, the Friday mornings at East are just absolutely elite, and we could talk more about that. But there's something else to be said too that we wanted our kids to understand, and that was, you talked about like not many people see what goes on behind the scenes, but the players remember that. And we've told them that there's going to come a time where you're going to lean on the fact in a tough game, in a tough spot, in a tough situation, when you need to make a play, that you did things that were hard, that were asked of you to do, that are not easy, and now it's your time to apply that to the game. The mental toughness side of it is really what we're building in those early morning workouts. And yeah, we're throwing weight around and doing all those things to get physically stronger and better. But when that tough moment comes, you've already, calloused your mind for that time. So you can lean on that in those tough moments of a game or a practice or any time throughout the season, then hopefully apply it to life.
Yep. And that your athletes will really be able to see it in real time, because you play Hillcrest last week. They throw a bomb at the end of the game, score a touchdown. They need a 2-point conversion to win the game, and you guys stand up, make the stop, win the game. You all play South with kind of that same ending, right? Yeah. Whereas like it comes down to like, all right, the game is on the line. We need to make a play. And we've done hard stuff all throughout this, our process of getting to this point. So I can tell that you have guys who are mentally strong, and in those moments when you need them to step up, there's no hitch in their armor. You know what I mean? They step up and they make the plays, and they finish the games. So it's honestly everything that you've been implemented. They're showing the result of that in real time. So they should be able to look at it and like, oh man, coach was right. Like this stuff worked. And once again, trusting in what you say and how you run things. All right, I'm gonna take this with me for the rest of my life, because I know it worked for me then, it'll work for me now. So yeah, I love to see that, man. I love it.
And so much credit to you, because I feel like a lot of not only high school football, but probably just high school coaches, even some college coaches that I've came across in my time of playing, try to bypass that and almost play the game without the preparation of the mental toughness and the just the things like we talking about behind the scenes that go into being a really good football player or a good football team. And I've just seen certain coaches just kind of bypass those things, and it's amazing to see how you put it into play and how the results really show, because you really can't do it without it. And like I said, I've just seen a lot of coaches try to go past it and just try to focus on other things, but that's a key part of the game, and probably any sport that you need that mental toughness. And it's good to see these young men have that and take it with them and carry it on throughout life. So definitely a big credit to you for bringing that.
And a lot of credit goes to our strength and conditioning coach. You talked about how important it is, both the physical and mental side of it, and we have an absolutely elite, awesome crazy strength and conditioning coach, everything you want in a strength and conditioning guy, and Coach Tyler Fortier, who's now our head baseball coach. He took over after me, and Coach Fortier was right along, ready to lead all those early morning workouts and show these guys the ins and outs of what it means to be both physically and mentally strong. And I'll be honest, I don't want this season to end anytime soon. Our plan is to keep it rolling as long as we can. But in regards to like a full off season, I can't wait to see what Coach Fortier has in store. I'm sure our players are a little nervous about it because, I mean, you guys have seen the guys on college sidelines. That's our Coach Fortier. He's out there with the sleeves cut off. And
okay, I know.
Yeah,
I saw a picture. I saw a picture.
It's not hard to figure out who the strength and conditioning coach is for TF North.
But that's what it should look that
Absolutely.
way. You know, it should look that way.
Definitely. One thing, just because I want to give the opportunity to have the players speak as well. You mentioned, you know, the season. We're still currently in season, and I know you all are playing pretty well this season, and we were talking a lot about conference championships and things like that. Don't want to get too much into that if it's anything that that can't be discussed regards to that. But as far as playing an extension, you know, into the end of the season, but also making a playoff run, where obviously the goal is the state championship, but what is your idea of success, even with, you know, necessarily say if y'all don't make it to the state championship, whatever, what is your idea of, you know, how the season can end? And you say it's a successful season, and then going into the off season, y'all will have a full off season under your belt, because y'all don't even have a full off season under your belt. Y'all, like you said, you got a late start. So what does that look like for you?
Well, I'm going to do what we practice, what I preach, actually, is that's to win tomorrow. First and foremost, we have an outstanding Lamont program coming in. Throughout the record, we know what Lamont's all about. There's a reason why they've been at the top of the conference for as long as they have. You guys have been playing in the conference with them, and they've always been there at the top, and there's a reason for that. So we absolutely respect what those guys do over there. Coach Hayes is a great guy. Got to meet him a little bit in the off season, and so make no mistake about it. We're not going to hide anything from our players, and we have not. We had our team meetings Monday. We talked to them about, you know, two programs are coming into this game tomorrow with some pretty high implications for both sides. And what we need to understand is we can't control what goes on over there. We respect them. We, without a doubt, are going to prepare as hard as we can for a great club coming into our backyard. But there's an opportunity for our guys to do something pretty special, and that's to win a conference championship. And that's first and foremost on our plate in regards to success.
How long has it been since CF North won?
It's a great question, because I'm going to date myself here a little bit, but you're talking to the guy who was a member of the last team in the fall of 2006.
Wow, and that's what you mentioned, were going back to the old TF North ways.
Correct.
As far as like you were a part of that, and,
yes,
and you're a prime example of, you know, experiencing winning and trying to mold that into the guys here today. That's beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to hear, and that's why we want to make sure
that was 2007.
So the class of 2007, but fall of 06.
Fall of 06. Okay.
So we've made it very clear to our guys how important that is. It should be to them, obviously, but to the football program and the school community, and that's our main focus. Our sole focus right now is to get ready to compete against a really good ball club from Lamont tomorrow night here in Cal City, and then from there, you know, obviously we did earn ourselves another week to the season, but we don't know anything more than that, right? We don't. You know, we can put out the ideas, and we can go to the gurus, and it's amazing work what some of those guys are able to do and putting together their big boards on who's going to play who. But ultimately, I know we play Lamont tomorrow, and that's what we're going to stay focused on.
Yep. But really, thank you for coming on, Coach. Coach Pigs. We do want to have the players join us now, so we're going to give an opportunity for them to speak, you know, about the program, about you, about, you know, things of that nature as well. So thanks again, Coach Pigs, and good luck to you all for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate what you guys are doing, and look forward to seeing the episode, and look forward to seeing more episodes of you guys down the road. Anything we can do to help, you let us know. But again, from a coach's standpoint, we really appreciate what you guys are doing. It means the world to not only programs like ours, but the young people that you are helping impact their lives in a positive way. Keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome stuff. Thanks, guys.
Now we have a few of TF North's football players right now that we're going to speak with as well. I'll allow everybody to kind of introduce themselves, what year they are in school, and the position that they play.
Dominic Gradford. I'm a senior. I play quarterback, free safety. I'm also the kicker and punter.
Wow.
Aramis Steward. I play left tackle, defensive tackle. I'm a senior.
Tristan Jackson. I'm a running back and I'm a linebacker.
Running back and a linebacker.
Yeah, I'm
So-
a senior.
So all of y'all are playing both ways?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's just the numbers. Being low in your athletes, you gotta have.
Three
yeah.
ways. Oh,
play
three
three
ways.
ways.
Well,
Really,
yeah, because you got a
three ways.
kicker. So,
Guys,
so yeah, for you kicking, when did you start kicking? Like, was it something that you just kind of had to do, or is it something you've been doing, all your football career?
Basically, I was actually kicking with this guy right here. Little league, all three of us, we all played on the same team. Not Chicago, Calumet State Chargers, and then around 10U, I started having to kick along with Aramis here, and then it just kept on going on from there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You know what's crazy? I actually played for the Calumet City Chargers too. So
That's what I was just thinking.
talk about how playing with each other, basically y'all whole careers. Talk about how that kind of brings y'all relationship closer now, or if it does or if it doesn't. Like, talk about that for me.
I'd say it has a tremendous impact on all of us, because when you come up into high school, you automatically know, okay, these my guys, and
Yeah.
I know they got me and I got them.
Right.
And then on the football field, with that relationship that we already have, you already know, like, okay, if I get mad at anything, I know I can lean on these guys. And I'm happily to say that these is my brothers, and even if we fail in battle, I know they're gonna always pick me up. And leading the team is way easier knowing that I got guys that I can trust, that I've been around for a long time.
Love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been with these guys basically my whole life. I started playing with Dominic when I was 8, and I've been playing with Tristan since I was like 5. You just trust these guys. When stuff goes wrong, you can lean on them, and you can always count on them.
Yeah. Piggybacking what they saying, it's all about trust, If you trust your team, what can you do? You go win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think another thing, a point too, is that y'all can probably hold each other accountable too, because if y'all
Yeah.
trust each other, you can trust that what he's telling you is he's not trying to steer you in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? He's actually trying to, even if he's getting on your back a little hard, he's gonna make you work 10 times harder, and then vice versa for them. So that trust is definitely important, because growing up with each other, I mean, like, a lot of times people fall out, whatever, but y'all stay together, y'all playing sports together, and I think that's a great thing to see, and especially seeing y'all all on varsity level
Right.
playing three
Playing.
ways.
Yeah.
Like, that y'all gotta understand, that's not a normal thing that happens, you know what I'm saying? And for y'all coach to allow y'all to do that, and then for y'all to be able to do that, that shows how much in shape y'all are, that shows how much y'all willing to work, and it shows how much y'all willing to really want to win. Y'all willing to do whatever it takes. you
Early
know what I'm saying?
mornings.
Yeah.
Early mornings.
Hard work. That's why we going 3 ways.
Yeah.
Early mornings.
But early mornings for real.
Just running.
Yeah, but
Lifting weights.
we talk a lot about, when we talk about cultures of football programs and how important it is for youth athletes to stay together, and for high school programs to keep guys together, because you have this result where it's like, if you take guys who have been playing together since they were 5, 6 years old, and now you all are 16, 17, 18 years old, you have that chemistry, you have that camaraderie. So that's one less thing that you would have to coach and deal with. Like, you all can, like, you're like assistant coaches in a sense, whereas like you all help run the team. So that's super impactful, like, for a program to have feeder programs that are sending guys like they've been playing together since kids. So you're gonna get this type of result. So I think that's super dope that you all came to high school together, and you didn't go to your own school, you go to a different school, you go to a different school, you stay together, and you see the result, where if you have athletes in the community who stick together, the results you can get. So, like, I love to see it. I love seeing players from the community play together.
Because it's 3 of y'all. Imagine if that was like
It's
a
really
whole
more.
team.
Is it more?
it's
Yeah,
really
is it more? Yeah,
So
that's what I
people
figured.
that's
I
not
figured
gonna
it was
It's a
more.
lot of us.
Also,
Yeah.
that's even telling in itself.
Yeah.
Man, where the success comes from too. Because imagine if that was the whole team. You know what I'm saying? Like he mentioned, we see a lot of people, especially when we was in high school. We see a lot of people is like, all right, we play with them in youth sports, and that could have been football, baseball, whatever. And we like, all right, now we're gonna go to the Catholic League school, or we're gonna go somewhere else, and we still live in the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that shows that that's an atonement to success as well. So that's lovely to see. And man, Man, 8, 7 of y'all. That is crazy. Are they playing 3 ways as well?
Yeah.
How many people on this
Yeah.
team is playing 3 ways? That is, yeah. So that's a lot. That's just a testament to all the hard work y'all put in the off season. So I commend y'all for that, because 3 ways for me would have been crazy.
Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
But hey, when you, like you said, early mornings, you prepared to do it, so you know you're gonna get it done.
Yep. So I want to ask, did y'all play any other sports growing up with each other?
Not with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Not with
But y'all
each
did
other.
play any other sports? What sports would you into other than football?
I played
Yeah.
basketball for 1 year. It was just like a board thing.
Boy, man.
But I did track for TF North too.
Oh,
You
okay.
still do track? You gonna be doing track this year as well?
I don't know. I might not.
You don't know?
I don't
What
know.
about you?
I used to box, and I played basketball for some periods of time, but I just never loved it as much as football.
Okay.
Aside from growing up just playing football, I didn't grow up playing any other sports. But when I got into high school, I started running track sophomore year, and I did it sophomore year, junior year, and then I'm gonna be currently doing it this year too.
So what made you interested when not doing it, in your youth and you going into high school? What made you want to do track going into high school?
It was mainly because the football teams, my seniors, they was like, y'all gotta do track, like it's gonna really help you. And then when I finally got into it, it opened up my eyes even more, and it was like another family that's just welcoming you, and it was a lot of love there and support, and it did help my football career.
And to keep you in shape probably too.
Yep.
So when you going into the football summer camp, probably way ahead.
So you mentioned seniors telling you that you should do that. Did you have, seniors or older family members kind of keeping you on track as you, went through this process of being a great football player? I didn't kind of watched a little bit of all of y'all on film and just seen some great things. So have you just always been fortunate to have, people in your corner, push you to do the right thing, push you to stay locked in with football and sports? Or does it just, come here and there, or just people that you meet in the school, or talk about that a little bit?
So for me, I have a very supportive family, and I commend them, and I'm thankful for them, because I know some people don't have that, unfortunately. But for me, I always had a family that backed me up, and then when I got into high school, building that relationship with my seniors, they was like my older brothers, and they always fed intel into me. And then people that I met, they always somehow they grew to support me and cheer me on, and I was always thankful for them too. But my seniors, most importantly, I couldn't do nothing but commend them for them leading, even though the records show that we had a bad season them years, but them leaders, they was truly leaders for
That
me.
trickle down effect, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's important when you talk about culture, because when you talk about the older guys actually giving back to the younger guys and prepping them
Trickle
for
down.
Yeah.
the times to come, I think that's a kind of a lost practice in today's world of athletes, where the seniors just go on and play and they don't really give back to the athletes. But when you a senior, you're supposed to look back. And I hope that if y'all seniors now, y'all look back to the younger you, the
100%.
freshmen, the sophomores, and give that same thing back, because that's what projects the program into a higher, just to a better place, physically, mentally, and just culture-wise when you do that. So I'm glad that you could have that experience with some older guys. What about y'all?
For me, I had a good family. They try to keep me on track, but I had messed up my sophomore year, which had messed me up for my junior year. But so
When you
I
say
just
messed up, what are you referring to?
I had a bad school year, which didn't allow me to play my junior year.
Okay.
So I just try to teach everybody or show everybody what was happening to me that year, and how they don't want that to happen to them. Just try to drop some knowledge on them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, me too. I got a supportive family, and whenever I need to lean on my brothers on something, they always got my back. They always lead me in the right way. They motivate me to do better.
Yeah.
So they really my support. Growing up with them helped me realize
Mm.
who really got my back type stuff.
And I like the term that you're using, you're not just saying friend, you're saying your brothers,
Right.
because that's what they are to you, especially with having grown up to them. It's not every person that's your brother got to be necessarily your brother by blood. It's just brother by relationship. You know what I'm saying? So that's good to see. I do want to ask you all, because y'all all played. Well, you mentioned that you weren't able to play a couple years just because some things off the field. But did everybody else play all 4 years?
Sophomore year, it was junior year.
You didn't play your freshman year.
I didn't play my freshman year because quarantine, COVID, and stuff
COVID,
happened.
okay, yep.
Sophomore year, I came back, But it's like I ain't really get a lot of play time because I had older guys, you know. But now, junior year, I had to sit out 3 weeks. I had bad grades. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I wasn't listening. I was being bad. Wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. But senior year, I came back better.
Yeah,
trying to do my best.
You know, I'm glad that y'all mentioning that because our job is not to highlight only the successes of young men. Like, we understand that, like, it's struggles for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not a perfect story for everybody. So you may look at the record and say, like, oh, man, they got some good guys there or whatever. But you don't know the backstory. So it's a lot of athletes out there who may be struggling in school, may be hard at getting their grades good, and they probably, like, down on themselves or they want to give up or whatever. And it just shows that, yeah, you can have a bad season. That's going to happen. It's a long life that you're going to live, and you're going to have bad moments. But it's about, do you persevere? Do you reach out to the guys next to you that care about you, that love you, pick you back up? So it's okay to fail, but it don't make you a failure, because both of y'all could have got bad grades and be like, all right, forget it, I'm not gonna play no more, and y'all wouldn't be here sitting with us right now on the podcast. You wouldn't be helping your team compete for a conference championship tomorrow with this historical run if you would have just gave up. So if any athletes are out there also who are struggling with grades, underclassmen, like, man, don't give up and don't just be like, oh, forget it, I got bad grades, I can't make it, because it's just a losing season. But it's not a fail in life, you know. So I respect that more than anything, for you to lose it and get it back, you know. So
yeah, because it's just overall just overcoming that adversity, because it's like, it's one thing, life is gonna happen, right? And sometimes life happens with your doing, you know, the mistakes that you may have made, but it's like whether you're gonna learn from that mistake and not let that affect you into your career moving forward or things like that. But yeah, so just overcoming adversity, that's a good thing to see. But also just, you know, continue with persevering and working hard, because you even mentioned when you did play your sophomore year, you wasn't really getting that much take behind other people.
I was just a long snapper. That's
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Hey,
wow. And now,
but hey, it's like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, you got to play your role. You know what I mean? Whatever role you have, be okay with it, and your time going to come. So from long snapping to being one of the top rushers in the conference, you know, so it's like everybody has a role, and when it's your time, just make sure you prepared.
Yeah, make sure you show out when it's your time.
Yeah,
exactly. When it's your time and the spotlight's on you, it's like, what you going to do? But
you got to make the best move.
Yeah, and I think what it seems like y'all coach prepare y'all very well, especially y'all mentioned a lot them early mornings. He mentioned it, the early mornings, and that's how y'all even able to play 3 ways. So that's definitely good to see. Is everybody here seniors?
Yeah.
Everybody here is seniors. I know off the camera a little bit we was talking about some things about let's say after the season and say beyond high school. We was mentioning some things. Does everybody here see themselves playing at the next level or want to play at the next level?
Yeah, I mean, football is what keeps me going, so that's why I want to. But majoring in, I like TV. Like, I like to work behind the scenes for TV stuff. Like I do some of the I do the announcements here.
Wow.
So I help with that. And yeah, that's something I see myself doing in college.
That's important to start to understand that early, because you'll be surprised how many people, especially us, like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do at y'all age. I just knew that I wanted to go to college because that's what was preached to me. But it was like, go to college, but go to college for what?
Yeah.
But the fact that you even said that you want to do something behind TV or production and you do the school announcements, that's already a great start, and you already that much ahead.
Right.
It's just mainly that curiosity factor and that knowing factor, and then if you had that drive to pursue that, if football does not work out, you know, you already 10 steps ahead than the person that's, you know, that doesn't know, you know.
Yeah.
What about anybody else? Do y'all have anything that it's okay? And then I also want to say, like, if you don't know either, that's okay too, because, you know what I'm saying, like, y'all still young, y'all still have time, y'all still have a whole senior school year to even finish, let alone the football season. So that's okay as well. Did you want to say something about that?
Yeah, so me too. I do want to go to college for football, but majoring wise, I would want to major in mathematics, because I'm very good with numbers and math. And then also with mathematics, you know, like, you can go to being an accountant and stuff like that. But then on the other flip side of it, if football wasn't going to work out, I always looked into, like, coaching wise and stuff like that. Because luckily for me, and then if I'm correct, Tristan, he did a little bit too, but we had coached the Calumet City Chargers. We went back and coached the 10U level. Yep, just a little bit. And then I was recording and stuff. We was calling out plays along with another teammate of ours from the Calumet City Chargers. He played over there at Hillcrest now, and he was a lone coach with us and our head coach. And that was just an experience that I personally just love and endure, especially, like, giving back to the kids that you've seen growing up and being able to coach them and put words of wisdom in them. It's just love.
Do you think coaching, like growing up, had that impact on you that made you want to go back and coach?
For me, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's definitely important. What about you?
I went back to coach, but it's like I wasn't really a coach. I was just there to support, really.
Mm-hmm. And
He was the real head coach. He like the coach of the team right now. He like another. He like a little pill. He like a
the quarterback is really another coach of the team. It's the one that is like you gotta preach to the players what the coach is trying to preach to y'all. You know what I'm saying? You the one that's the prime example. You the enforcer. You always got to be the head captain and honcho. And the fact that you play quarterback and then you also play many other positions, that makes it that much easier, because not only are you talking to the offensive players, you also talking to the team on the special teams, and you also able to get your words across to the defense as well. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he do a lot. He like another coach. I promise you, he like another coach.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good. So for this part of the podcast, I really want to focus on and highlight you guys' talent. So like we want you to be able to use this, to help you get recruited. So like if a coach was here and you want to sell yourself, like, man, what would you tell him? Like, what about your game will make him want to recruit you, or even about your character? Because it's like you could be on the field, but it's a saying that says that your talent will get you to places your character can't keep you. You know what I mean? So you can be talented here, but you still need that character to get to the next level and be successful. So just a little bit about your game, your play style. Like, what will make a coach want to give you a scholarship offer?
I say I'm a good teammate. Like, I know how to pick my team up. Like, I know how to motivate my team to do good. And then I just got good skills. Like, I work hard. That's really it. If you work hard and you focused, people will look at you more. I feel like people looking at me more because I'm doing what I got to do on the field. That's really it.
So talk about those skills, because you play running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So talk about those skills. Like, what would you say that you do better than some of the other running backs in the conference? Is it speed? Is it agility? Is it?
I got some good takeoff speed. People can't catch up.
Okay.
Really.
So when you break free and stuff, it's like
when I got good vision, my vision real good. I know what hole to cut in. I know if I gotta bounce it out. Yeah, I know what I gotta look at.
You you catch well. You catch well.
That's
a new thing, like hybrid. Back, so it's like you kind of playing that receiver role.
Mm-hmm.
Along with running the ball. So that's what a lot of college coaches want to see too. Can you catch the ball out the backfield? So, all right, cool. All right, you can.
I feel like I'm a good leader, and I feel like I'm smart. I help pick up a lot of stuff, a lot of blitzes from the line. Like Hillcrest was trying to send a lot of blitzes off the edge, stuff that you wouldn't be able to see, but me and my guard picked it up. I feel like I'm a smart and I'm a leader. That's some of the things.
Okay,
and that's important too. Like picking that up and it's I like to call that the game within the game. You know what I'm saying? Kind of your prerequisites before the plays snap even happens.
Yeah.
That can also get you a step ahead too. So that's definitely, don't ever think that's not important as well. That's definitely super important, knowing your cues and things like that, and being able to prevent the opponent to do something that they think they may be sneaky or whatever.
Yeah. For me, I say aside from being a good leader and somebody that's coachable, I say that I'm willing and able to play anything that you need me to play. So if you call me out to do something, I'll do it. I even want to get down the trenches with Aramis and them. Like, I'm willing to go the extra mile just to get the PT that I want.
All right.
And with the leading part, being coachable for me is more important than actually leading, because if I can see what the coach is saying and probably somebody else can't, then I'm able to double down on them and tell them probably a different way that the coach is explaining. But aside from that, I feel like I play with a great loose and not too much on my mind. Like, I play very empty-headed, but I'm very into the game at the same time. So you might catch me one moment like I'm really in the moment, but at the same time I'm listening to everything, I'm watching everything, my eyes is all over the field, and I just can't stop it. So I think that I'll say that, yeah.
I like what you said when you said being coachable, because it's one thing where you got the talent and stuff, but it means nothing if you're not coachable. I think
you said that last. I said that.
I don't remember what episode I said it on, but I definitely said that. And like you said, it's important to double down it to the players. If the coaches are seeing something and it may be something that you're not seeing, but you able to take that criticism and implement it into your game, that just makes the team a whole lot better. Or if the coaches are seeing something that you may be doing and you're not getting it, he can like tell you about it. You know what I'm saying? That just makes the whole process a lot easier. It makes the whole team together, and it turns into success, as we can see with y'all, with the success that y'all having right now. So yeah, that's definitely dope.
And that's gonna boost your stock with these college coaches, because college coaches are interested in, this kid may play quarterback, but can he play running back too? Can he play receiver too? Can he do different things? I know as far as defense, like I play middle linebacker, but as you know, it's different packages on defense. So if they don't got to make a sub for you, that just boosts your stock even higher, because that means we don't have to sub. We can keep him in. We can move him somewhere. He can be an interchangeable piece within this offense or this defense. So that's a very important thing, and I want you to keep on practicing at all those positions, because you never know where your number might get called on one of them, so just keep on balling, man, for sure.
Y'all prepare for everything.
Yeah.
Yes. So just again highlighting the program in TF North, something for like the younger guys, because you all both said y'all coach the young guys with the Calumet City Thunderbolts, the Chargers. Okay, so what's something that you would like tell them, like why North? Why come to North? Why not go to a Catholic school or move out and go to a different district school? Why come to TF North and play football here?
Why North? That is a great question, but I say because not only do you have your teammates and your environment back, but it's like something that's like it gravitates to you. Like, so you get here, and you might see other schools doing better and stuff. It's like, I want to go, but it's just something that's just always with you, and the love and support that you get from him, especially when you're up and doing stuff like winning and stuff, it's more than you can ask for. And for me, because I'm more calm, cool, and collected, I can't help but to smile in front of everybody when stuff like that happens. So for the kids that's like coming up and stuff, why North? If you really want a supportive system and a family that that you can have that's always gonna have you no matter what you do, you'll want to come to North.
Yeah, piggybacking off what Dom said, why North? When you got a great coaching staff, people that love you as not as just players, but as people. Coaching staff, going from our linebacker coach to our defense coordinators, those guys are great. And the culture at this school, I feel like this school has a lot of culture and history. That's important as a player, that you have history and stuff to back you up. A lot of stuff that Coach P has been talking about as a recent, bringing back the history, like after we win, we sing school song. I think that's a very important thing to do, looking back at the history and stuff like that.
Yeah, what they was saying, I feel like we got a good coaching staff. And if you join the football team, you already go be a part of a huge family that you're not even knowing about. And you got 4 years of it. 4 years of just having team chemistry, stuff like that, really. It's just team chemistry. They could do what me, Dom, and Aramis did. We went from the Chargers, now we at TF North, making history. They can make history just like we did. Maybe they'll be on y'all podcast one day.
So it's pretty much home for y'all, if y'all could say that.
Calumet City is home.
Something y'all could be proud of for a long time. Yeah, that's good. That's definitely what it's about. For sure. So tomorrow, y'all got a big one. All right, this is probably the biggest game of the season. Probably the biggest game in 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's like, y'all got Lamont, big dog. We all know about Lamont. We've all played against Lamont, So how are you all feeling about tomorrow? Is it like kind of a different feeling other than the other games that you all played this year? Or is it kind of like you have the same, feeling, the same everything?
Me, I got the same feeling, but I feel like we got a little chip on our shoulder because it's to win the conference. If we don't win this, we not gonna have our year on the banner. We want to do that. Like, that's what we really want to do. And we want to take a nice picture with Coach Piggy, put it on the side of his picture when he was playing at North.
No, that'll be cool.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of awards with this.
Imagine that being like the last time it being the fall of 06 and then first year as the coach. That's the next time.
That's a story right there. Yeah, that's like you can't make that up.
Yeah, coming to the game, I feel the same as always feeling it going to games. I'm always pretty confident going to games. I think we can beat anybody. But the most important thing, I think, is like Coach said in the meetings, you can't fear the L in the chest. You know, Lamont has been the top dog in this conference for a while. You guys has played him. I've played him. You know, you can't fear him. You just got to go in there and play him like you play anybody else.
For sure, and y'all top dogs too now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it, so it ain't.
and that's how you got to how to approach where it's like,
no.
don't. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you definitely got to walk with that swag. Like, man, we top dogs too now. You know what I'm saying? Look at y'all and look at us. We the same. So yeah, a lot of athletes go into that game where it's like, oh, we know what's gonna happen. But yeah, y'all the top dogs now.
Yeah, I'm basically the same as them, but I'm more calm about it. But for me on the inside, I feel like we more locked in than we was on previous games. And like for me, I'm more dialed in, because previous games, like I'll be dialed in, but it's sometimes like it's moments where like I give off from being dialed in. But this game for me, I feel like I'm more locked in, more focused, just more ready. Like I'm more ready than I usually am.
Yeah, I like what you said when you say playing with that chip on your shoulder. That, like, even, you know, having that swagger and that confidence, that chip always got to remain, because that's how you prove the doubters wrong. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you humble, and it keeps you constantly working hard to prove something. Keeping that chip on your shoulder, it makes you constantly want to prove something. As y'all can see, y'all got a lot to prove, but y'all already have proved a lot as well. But definitely keeping that chip on your shoulder is going to lead to just more and more and more success, and it's going to aid that hunger to just go to the next level. So that's definitely dope. Is there anything, I know we've been going for an hour, and I don't want to keep y'all too long, and I know it's a school night. Is there anything else that you want to tap into, FL, y'all want to mention or provide a spotlight to yourselves? Maybe Coach may want to come back in and give his 2 cents about something. Yeah, this is y'all time to speak.
Yeah,
Whatever.
if you got anything, anything,
whatever,
you know, this is for y'all.
This for y'all.
Shout out my O-line. Shout out Damari Dogan, Alvin Lincoln. Shout out Nigel Greenwood. Shout out Carlos Roa. Yeah, I just want to shout out my O-line.
I want to shout out all the skill players, the DVs, Keyshawn, Terrion, Dom, Eric, Deshaun, a sophomore. He a shorty, but he balling out this year.
Okay.
Keelan, I want to shout out everybody, my team. I love my team.
Yeah, I got it. You know I do, of course.
Them, the coaching staff, for sure, and then paying back on my seniors. Like, this was the season for them, and I put that in their brain, like, this is for them. Every time they leave, like, this is y'all season. Like, we did all this for y'all, and I want to shout them out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the players did a great job of shouting out their teammates and the people involved, the guys that are going between the white lines each and every week, and there's no success and probably podcast interviews without what those young men have been able to do for us. But again, just kind of doubling down on thanking our coaching staff, the support staff, and our trainers, managers, the administration here at TF North, the teachers, the extended staff in the building, our students, our student body, our fans, our families, community members who have been coming out and supporting us, our alumni who have been outstanding all year long, and then obviously my wife and kids, Andrea, Ella, Carmen Jr., Luca. It's pretty cool. Dad's shouting you out. Now you can see my ugly mug on this one, but couldn't do without you guys. Best 2 ball boys in the state of Illinois, and very happy that you guys were supportive of me taking advantage of this opportunity to help these young guys that put on the jersey that Dad wore a long, long time ago, and obviously the rest of my family and everybody else who's been behind us this journey, and looking forward to continuing to make all of you proud. Thank you guys.
Yeah. So anything to say? Or?
Just for me, just to end it with me, man, I'm definitely rooting for you guys. Furthermore, tomorrow and throughout the rest of the season, even with me being a South graduate, I play for South, and we have the South North rivalry. But for me, I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we're here and we're sitting down with you guys, because it's bigger than a rivalry. It's bigger than a river game. It's bigger than whatever you want to call it or feel however you want to feel. At the end of the day, you guys are doing something special, and we want to highlight all athletes in the area from wherever you're from. If you're doing something special, you're working hard, you deserve to be rewarded. It deserves to be a light shed on you. So yeah, right now, man, I'm pushing for you guys, bro. And maybe one day we're gonna have to line up and coach against Coach Pigs one day, you know what I mean? But we still under that same, you know, we still want the same thing for you guys. You know, we share that same value, that same passion to change lives. So you guys keep on doing great things, and even when you graduate out of here, stay connected with us. Like, it's not just a podcast now. You're entered into that off-season family where it's like you have me, you have Trey, you have Vaughn. You know, you follow the page. You can DM us anytime you want to. Ask us any questions. You need help with anything. We here for you guys, man. Like, all the other stuff, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of you guys being successful young men. So I'm proud of y'all now. I want to see y'all ball, man. Come home with that dub tomorrow, man, for sure.
and this don't got to be the last time. You know what I'm saying? If it's the last, I'm talking about the last time to even like be on this platform or anything like that. If it's other sports that y'all want us to highlight and come out and support y'all, we definitely more than willing to do it, because like we always say, and Coach Pig was even saying, like, off camera, and I think he may even said it on camera, most important is the kids, you know what I'm saying? And obviously y'all are young men now, going into young men, and is y'all gonna bring that trickle down effect into the kids that come after y'all. So is there anything you want to say, Devon, before I close it out?
Nah, just hopefully the next time we meet, we'll be talking about how they won the state championship. You know,
yeah, definitely rooting for y'all, definitely. Yeah. But appreciate everybody that came on the platform. Coach Pigs, thank you for allowing us to speak with your players, and thank y'all for giving us insights into y'all athletic career, as well as some things off the field and how y'all grew up with each other. But this is another episode of the Off-Season Podcast. Episode 7.
Seven, man. It's 7.
But and we are out like that.